Hazardous waste and toxic waste management. Hazardous waste. Any waste or combination of waste that possess a substantial danger now or in the future to human, plants, or animal life, and that therefore must be handled or disposed of special precaution. So, any waste that may produce harmful effects on human or environment. Generation and travel of waste. Generator means a person, natural or juridical, who generates or produces hazardous waste through any commercial, industrial, or trade activities. Second is transporter. It is a ways of movement of waste over a specific area by train, trucks, tankers, barges, or other vehicles. Last is treatment, storage, disposal. It means facilities that conduct on-site treatment and disposal of hazardous waste shall be classified as category as TDS facility. It means treatment, storage, disposal. Landmark episode. DDT insecticide exposure was associated with an increased frequency of cancer 1960s. DDT is a commonly used pesticide for insect control in United States. The United States banned the use of DDT in 1972, and also some of the countries outside the United States still use DDT to control of mosquito that spread in malaria. Lab Canal was a canal project that led by Mr. Lab. The plan was to use water flow through the canal to capture the flow and to generate hydropower. And 15-acre working-class neighborhood of around 800 single-family homes built directly adjacent to the canal. From 1942 to 1953, the Hooker Chemical Company, with government sanction, began using the particularly dug canal as a chemical waste dump. 21 tons of toxic chemical, including at least 12 that are known carcinogens, halogenated organics, chlorobenzene, and dioxin among them.
Landmark episodes. Times Beach, dioxin contamination. In 1925, Times Beach was a resort town for the residents of St. Louis. After the Great Depression and gasoline rationing of World War II, it became a low-income community, not having enough money to pave their roads. The city commissioned to spray oil to keep the dust in check. In May 1971, a horse arena was sprayed. Within a couple of days, horses, cats, dogs, and birds in the surrounding landscape died. Main episode, Orrington ni Malincrot. The Malincrot site, formerly known as the Holtrache Manufacturing Company in Orrington, Maine, is located on a 235-acre site on the banks of the Penobscot River. Approximately 77 acres were affected by site operations, including 50 acres that are developed and include the manufacturing facility, 5 landfills, a surface impoundment, and a waste pile. Classification of hazardous waste. There are 4 testing characteristics. First is corrosivity. Describe how aggressive water is at corroding pipes and fixtures. Corrosive water can cause lead and copper in pipes to leach into drinking water and can eventually cause leaks in plumbing. Surface water and groundwater, both sources of drinking water, can potentially be corrosive. The second one is ignitability. Is the characteristics used to define as hazardous those waste that could cause a fire during transport, storage, or disposal. Examples of ignitable waste include waste oils and used solvents. The third is reactivity. Is the ability of matter to combine chemically with other substances. For example, iron is highly reactive with oxygen. The last is toxicity. Is defined as the amount of degree of a substance needed to be poisonous.
Electronic waste. The main electronic devices are described as computer CPU, desktop printer, video game consoles, carton rate tubes, flat panel display are similar video devices with a screen greater than 4 inches and contain one or more circuit boards. Circulator tends to withhold superfan remedial action in states that do not provide disposal capacity for the waste generated within their borders.
Electronic waste. Since the invention of iPhone, cell phones have become the top source of e-waste. Products become they are not made to last more than 2 years. Electrical waste contain hazardous but also available and scarce materials. As of 2013, Apple has sold over 769 million iDevices, iPhone, iPad in the United States. An estimated 70% of heavy metals and landfill comes from discarded electronics. Um, Electronic waste. It is it is estimated that smartphone production alone contribute 80 to 90% of carbon emission by the devices of mobile mobile phone has over 60 different metal including rare earth metal can contaminated soil and water if not disposed properly. What do you do with your own old e-waste? The first is to keep all used electronic devices out of our trash and our landfill. Take them to dedicated e-waste recycling facility if there really is no way to reuse or return the items. Find a reliable local organization who will recycle it. Life cycle stage of electronic. Raw materials are used to manufacture electronic, then put in on sales when someone buys an electronic he/she will use, and once he decided to buy a new one, his/her own electronic devices will be a part of his/her election. Then it can't be forgotten and won't be used anymore when his/her old or he/she can't decided to sell it to other people. For me, this is the life cycle of electronics.
Options for hazardous waste management. Eliminate or reduce waste quantities. Reduce your packaging purchases. Avoid packaging when possible. For example, use your own reusable bag or container. Use products you already have for household chores. Avoid single-use cleaning products. Reduce toxicity. If you do use hazardous materials, use only what you need. Share leftovers with neighbors or donate them to businesses or charities that need them. Read products label and follow all directions carefully. Reuse bags, containers, and other items. Bring your Bring your reusable shopping bag to the grocery store and beyond. Bring a reusable mug to the coffee shop. Pack lunches in a reusable bag with reusable food and drink containers. Borrow, rent, and share. Power tools, ladders, garden tillers, boats, and other outdoor equipment. Formal wear, party decorations and supplies, table, etc. Audiovisual equipment. Stabilize the waste. A waste that has been treated or decomposed to the extent that if discharged or released, further decomposition will be small enough or slow enough that the waste will not cause nuisance or odors in the receiving water. Incinerate the waste. Incineration is a waste treatment process that involves the combustion of substance contained in waste materials. Apply modern land disposal methods. In general, waste should undergo material recycling or thermal treatment. If this is not possible for technical reasons or it is not economically viable, the waste is deposited in a landfill following suitable treatment. Hazardous waste versus hazardous materials. Toxic Substance Control Act or TSCA manage hazardous materials so that they won't become hazardous waste. Toxic versus hazardous. Hazardous materials or waste must be listed as such by federal regulations. Hazardous waste must cause death or serious illness. Any waste that contains a listed hazardous waste, regardless of the quantity, is hazardous. Waste sources. Sources of waste can be broadly classified into three types: industrial, commercial, and domestic. The first one is industrial waste. These are the waste that created in factories and industries. Most industries dump their waste in rivers and seas, which cause a lot of pollution. Example of these are plastic, glass, etc. The second one is commercial waste. Commercial waste are produced in schools, colleges, shops, and offices. Example of these are plastic, paper, and etc. The last one is domestic waste. The different household waste which are collected during household activities like cooking, cleaning, and etc. are known as domestic waste. Example of these are leaves, vegetable peels, excreta, and etc. Transportation. Transport waste is when a product that is meant to be used in manufacturing is moved or touched unnecessarily. Moving not only costs money but can also result in the increased risk of that product being damaged, lost, or misused. Hazardous waste treatment method. Hazardous waste is waste that has substantial or potential threats to public health or the environment. Hazardous waste is a type of dangerous goods. They usually have one or more of the following hazardous traits: ignitability, reactivity, corrosivity, and toxicity. Treatment method means a method proposed by the owner to reduce disease-causing microorganisms that escape through the filtration system in order to bring the float water to a safe level. RCRA versus CERCLA. RCRA, Resource Conservation and Recovery Act 1976, which is enforced by the EPA, manage hazardous waste from its point of origin to its final disposal. Before RCRA took effect, sites known as Superfund that were previously contaminated are funded for cleanup through CERCLA, means Comprehensive Environmental Response, Compensation, and Liability Act.